Arr. Mm.
Noise.
Arr. Mm.
Hey, do a mariachi one.
Oh my god.
I fucking knew it! Oh!
Now Chente comes out of nowhere singing.
Bon dia. Bon dia. He would sing Corazón apasionado. Buen día, Pablo y Diego.
Hey, ¿cómo vamos?
¿Qué tal?
Hey, we made it. Another
Vivimos.
Martos vivimos. What's new? How are you guys?
Well,
you know.
I mean, Pablo had a fun day yesterday. I'm basically just dreading the fact that on Sunday is my birthday. I'm now 32 in less than a week.
27th? On the 27th?
On the 27th.
Dude, you have the same birthday as Mexican Iron Man.
Oh, nice.
Okay,
know
wait. No, I did not know that.
Yeah.
Wait, so basically, mi cumpleaños es
¿Sí?
23 de febrero. Comparto con Mike, comparto con el sobrino mi enamorado, comparto con Pokémon. ¿Qué es lo próximo?
Wow. That's a glorious day for you and Mexican Iron glory hole. I think that deserves a glory day. Salud. What do you think, Pablo?
Oh, sí.
As a reminder, I've been here when it was glory hole days, and I've been here when it wasn't. And so, having said that, I want me some glory hole.
Ay, la gloria.
Darth Pleito.
Hey, Darth Pleito. Feliz día.
Feliz día atrasado.
Pat S.
No, Pat.
D-Bud. Yeah,
I'm not complaining. I'm not
32
complaining.
is joven, man.
I'm not complaining, but it just makes me be more conscious of my mortality more and more.
Joven. JS.
No sé qué responder a lo que dijo Diego. Yo tengo 33 años y he visto la muerte más veces. Creo que le apesto. Para ser honesto, en algún momento yo vi al dios de la muerte, vi a Nubis, estaba con su huesito, se lo robé, le pateé y desde ahí me maldijo, soy inmortal, no sé cómo diablos no he muerto hasta ahora.
Un día Pablo hará en su canal un video contando la historia de toda su vida, gente, y van a quedarse.
Hola, Gonzalo. Hola, Tony. Hola,
Machete.
Big Raj. Hace
Hey.
mucho tiempo, Big Raj. Mucho tiempo. Hola, Miguel Farah.
Vamos.
Yes. Steven.
¿Cómo vamos, hermano? Gonzalo.
Gonzalo. Gonzalo se traumó con ese pequeño clip.
¿Sí? ¿Qué?
La gloria. Se traumó con la gloria.
Gloria Holes.
Oh, no.
Y ese es el que puso un chiste en el grupo de Facebook que básicamente el que lo ve va a ir al infierno.
Bueno, hoy tenemos un special guest. En 2 minutos más o menos tenemos a Tom Connors de Midnight's Edge.
Yeah.
Jefecito viene.
Yeah, él habla todo de Narcos. He just found out Narcos for the first time, so he's like going crazy.
¿No es
Yo-
hermoso cuando encuentras una serie que no has visto y es demasiado, demasiado buena y puedes básicamente sentarte a ver toda la serie sin interrupción?
Ah, sí. Me
Ujú,
recuerda a
ujú.
Shaman King.
No, he encontrado últimamente tantas series buenas, especialmente en anime. Por fin me estoy viendo Goblin Slayer. ¿Cómo diablos es que no utilizaron esa serie como base para Star Wars, las últimas películas? Y hablo en serio, Goblin Slayer nunca se quita el casco. Y la única vez que realmente lo ves sin casco, lo enfocan de tal manera que nunca ves su rostro. Entonces mantiene el misterio y es parte de lo grandioso del personaje. Ahora tú ves a Din Djarin en Mandalorian, se quita el casco como pendejo, vemos su cara, tiene cara de sonso, le quita la magia. Si en vez de eso nunca hubiésemos visto su cara, hmm, tendríamos algo especial ahí.
Tú ya sabes qué voy a decir, Pablo.
No, no las otras partes de Goblin Slayer. Esas partes tal vez no sean
No, no,
adecuadas para el
no,
mercado
no,
americano.
no. La parte de por qué Disney no tomó influencia de eso.
¿Por pendejos?
Exacto.
Mm.
Aunque, ¿me puedo decir
Buenos,
algo?
antes de hoy,
Sí, sí. Iba a decir algo, pero no
¿qué
importa. Paul,
tenemos? ¿Qué tenemos, Diego?
bueno, presto que todos acá que ven en el canal conocen a una persona muy especial llamada Scotty Mendelson.
Ujú.
Ese hombre que cuando hay una sequía de información nos da, nos da una pieza así, una gema de coherencia cognoscitiva que me quedo como, no shit.
Y yo soy el que estaba volado ayer.
Sí,
¿Qué
pero
pasó con
no
tu
sé,
computadora? ¿No sirve bien? ¿Qué?
no sé, está sharing, espera.
It's all black.
Dame un segundo, voy a resolver esto.
Órale.
We're back in
Yeah, the
black. Dun,
countdown
dun,
in
dun, dun,
5
dun.
minutes. Tom can do stuff now.
A ver, creo
Yeah, I
que
don't
ya
know
sé
if you
qué
heard
pasa.
Mexican Iron Glory, but you and our little old Diego share the same birthday. So,
Nice.
it's going to be a glory day on Sunday. Sunday glory.
Oh,
Sunday
Dios
glory.
mío.
Domingo de gloria, no.
So, Sunday,
No.
Domingo de Gloria.
Como católico estoy como, no, Poli, ¿qué estás haciendo? Nos va a pegar Diosito.
Hey.
Ah,
Buenas tardes, lovely Sherry. Hey, don't talk to your Mexican Iron Glory.
¿Cómo?
I'm just kidding.
¿Y usted?
Feliz cumpleaños a Mexican Iron Man y Diego de Midnight's Edge, español, este domingo.
viva Mike y Diego.
¡Viva!
Ese es.
¡Que viva!
Que beba. No, espera.
¡Que glory!
No.
No, ok. Siento, Upper GX no está queriendo progresar conmigo. No puedo poner
Glory,
¿Quieres que abra
glory
el artículo y lo
holes.
comparta?
Sí, tú compártelo, ya lo compartí en el private chat, tú compártelo.
Yeah, well, I'll do it. Glory days.
Dios mío.
¿Conoce la canción? Glory days. ¿Conoce?
No.
¿No?
No.
Bueno, es una canción muy viejo, ¿no? De la película. No, la álbum Born in the USA. Es la misma.
Oh, nice.
La misma álbum.
¿Springsteen?
Yeah. There's a song
Ah.
called Glory Days, and it's the same album as Born in East LA. Born in the USA.
No, pero Pauli,
Uh,
fuera de bromas, hay una posibilidad que busquemos Born in East LA y alguien tomó la canción de Springsteen y la hizo para East LA.
yeah. Me and
Ahora quiero
Tom did
buscarlo.
a karaoke of Born in East LA. Wow.
No sé por qué me hicieron pensar en las canciones que había en Video Match.
Ok,
Dios mío.
noticias.
Yeah. Scotty, en su infinita gloria, nos dio este artículo, que es una gema, que dice 5 reasons Hollywood is suffering at the box office.
Yes.
Por
just in
pendejos.
time, one of Scott Mendelsohn's biggest fans, Tom. of
I
Midnight
love
Suns,
Scotty.
is your boy.
He's my
Wait, what happened to
boy.
Diego?
I don't know.
fuck
He
is going-
disappeared. He doesn't like me.
He don't like you.
No. Norton doesn't like me. For some reason, decided
Bienvenidos,
my-
Tom. Welcome.
Hola, mi amigos.
Diego al
Tom.
menos no te hicieron un McAfee. Hola, Tom.
Hola, Tom.
Hola.
Hola, Tom. We
muy
ahora tenemos Scotty Mendelsohn para ti.
See, Scotty, he gave us this little gem, Tom. 5 reasons Hollywood is suffering from a box office slump.
Because movies suck.
Yeah,
That's it.
basically.
Actually,
End
that's
of-
number one.
And
In Spanish, we say por pendejos.
so are we reading this whole
Pendejos.
thing, or what are we doing?
No, we're going to like point for point, just like
Okay,
quickly.
let's go
and-
point for point. There
yeah.
you go.
So, first one, the Oscar season is a bust. And I
Isn't it
just want to-
always?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I want to read you the first sentence.
Do
Okay,
not get me started on the fucking Academy. Sorry. Lo siento.
Pauli, toma tu cafecito.
Dude,
While
I'm so- Go ahead.
While January isn't usually a robust month for regularly scheduled tentpoles, we can usually count on 1 or 2 December releases successfully expanding into wide release to mainstream commercial success. ¿No?
Ujú.
Él está insinuando, ok, de que las películas de diciembre son las que siempre van a arrastrar hasta enero y van a generar éxito. Y yo pienso, sus ejemplos no son los más sólidos. Sí han llegado a enero, pero no han sido como que sostenidos. Yo he mencionado Spider-Man, oh God, No Way Home. Eso sí fue sostenido. Eso sigue hasta ahora.
I
Y estamos en
understood that.
febrero.
Spider-Man No Way Home.
Well-
I got that.
Yeah. Basically, what I'm saying is the fact that he mentions how usually there's nothing in January, but, you know, December releases, right? And he puts some examples, and I'm thinking, but most of these, they trail off in January. They're not necessarily strong, you know, have like a strong performance in January, except until we got to No Way Home, or that thing is still with legs even to now in February. It's being like what, it's gonna be 3 months at this point.
Yeah.
So-
Okay. I mean, I'm with him here. I understand where he's going at, and that's usually the truth. But in 2021, House of Gucci
It's like,
is the biggest gross award season release, with West Side Story second behind the default with 35 million. Let me just say, fuck House of Gucci, fuck West Side Story. Sorry.
Yep.
Sorry.
Wait, I
this is-
love.
I'm like,
I know.
I'm so over it, guys. I'm so over it.
Sí. Don't worry.
That's why I
Paul.
didn't even go on Midnight Ed yesterday. I was so upset.
Man.
Los Oscars se han vuelto una farsa total. Y, bueno, y ya eran una farsa desde antes. Solamente recordemos que Matrix no ganó. Pero en general es las películas que son más frufru artsy, las películas que son hechas para cuando estás en el mismo estado en el que estaba yo ayer, son normalmente las que ganan. Es ridículo. Puedes tener una excelente película, una película increíble, y puedes tener una película mediocre que es buena con marihuana, y automáticamente esa película ganó.
Sí.
Así es como funciona.
Y lo que debemos ser honestos, lo que dije de no, Spider-Man, ¿ya? Scotty no menciona Spider-Man, a pesar de que esta película destruyó todo y está superando hasta Avatar. Y
Yeah,
Avatar
hasn't
creo que es la
mentioned-
segunda.
He hasn't mentioned Spider-Man here.
Mm-mm.
Matrix. Number 2, because most of the December releases flopped.
Bullshit.
Eso
That's
es una
true.
No. Si es que haces una buena película, puede salir en diciembre, puede salir en enero y todavía generar dinero. Es verdad, Spider-Man No Way Home pudo haber salido en julio y haber producido un poco más de dinero. Pudo haber sido un summer blockbuster. Pero, considerando que salió en diciembre, la cantidad de personas que arrastró es ridícula. Y todavía está en cartelera en los cines ecuatorianos. Estoy seguro que en muchísimos otros países está en cartelera. Entonces, no se trata de que simplemente sales en un mes y se acabó. Por algo existen los summer blockbusters en una época en la que antes era completamente muerto el cine. La razón por la que salieron las películas que se volvieron summer blockbuster en verano es justamente porque era un tiempo muerto. Y lo convirtieron en un tiempo estelar. Hay cómo hacer esa transformación. Lo que necesitas es calidad de producto.
Diego.
Ujú. No, iba a decir, primero, antes de eso, Mike nos manda $4.99 y dice, no tengo fe con el pinche Amazon Lord of the Rings, ya me cansó DW, estos cerotes que están molestando mis fandoms favoritos.
Yep.
Sí.
¡Que viva Mexican Iron Man!
¡Que viva Mike! Y Mike dice también, Dang, it is impossible to type in Spanish when your iPhone default to English. Con una persona que tiene su iPhone en inglés, español y portugués, te entiendo.
Android is worse.
Sí, las cosas que has puesto. Y Polly debe usar mi nombre oficial. Soy Mexican Iron Man. No sé, Glory como la chingada.
Chingaza.
Ay, se mamó.
Chingaza.
No sería chingata.
Chicago.
Mira, para tu
Espera.
pollo de conejo gratis, pregúntale a Iron Man mexicano.
Do you like rabbit? Do you like chicken? Have you ever wondered what it would be like to have both at the same time but can never find both at the same place? Well, Disney and Shang-Chi have taken care of that for you. That's right. You can get yourself rabbit chicken meat, now available at every Walmart and Costco. What you waiting for? Move your feet and get some rabbit chicken meat. It's good. It is good.
Still better than any commercial on the Super Bowl this year.
Dang right.
Exactly.
Okay.
I'm gonna
Tom,
ask Tom this one.
any thoughts on so far what we've talked about here in this?
I have not understood one word you guys have said, but most of the December releases flopped.
He's technically right.
Yes and no.
No.
What do you mean no? Only one
I mean,
didn't
Spider-Man
flop.
No Way Home was a big, huge hit.
That's what we said most.
Let's see. Wait, but let's remember which were
Sing
December
2 did
releases.
okay.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, I mean,
Other than that, it
Matrix
was all flops.
Well, Matrix was day and date.
Yep.
What else was there?
But
when was
there's-
Ghostbusters?
Well, West Side Story.
That was October.
West Side
Or
Story
just
was
November.
released.
Oh, West Side Story. Well, yeah.
Matrix, Kingsman. I think, yeah, Nightmare Alley. I mean, I love Nightmare Alley. It's probably my favorite movie of the year, but it flopped.
thinking it on the other way. Maybe the movies that they are scheduling for December are not that great. Because when you have a really good movie on December, you actually make money. Look at Spider-Man No Way Home. It made money because it's a good movie. It doesn't matter when you release it.
Well, listen, what pisses me off with West Side Story was that no one went to see it, and the Academy and the industry is prompting it like it's like the fucking greatest thing ever coming
It's a
this award season, and they totally dicked Lin-Manuel. But let's move on. Let's move on.
Encanto. It deserves more attention. I'm gonna say
Go ahead.
it. Okay. Número 3. Studios don't want to cannibalize themselves.
En serio, eso hacen todo el tiempo.
Exacto. It's like that's the default state. They fight each other. They try to take the few the measly, let's say, bucks that the market has for entertainment, because as we all know, theaters are a luxury. They're not something everybody can go every single day. So of course they're going to cannibalize each other because they want to maximize profits. And if that means attacking each other, they will. They want to take the money from the other guy. It's as simple as that.
Diré, Scotty Meldenson. Ya es la tecnocumbia de los periodistas de entretenimiento. Es más, es el reggaetón de los periodistas de entretenimiento.
Reggaetón, no seas malo. Hay reggaetón bueno, no seas malo.
Hay una sola clase de reggaetón bueno, el reggaetón que nunca es escuchado.
We got a tip for $9.26. I don't want to say your name, but gracias, hola todos, he says. and I'm saying gracias back.
Hey,
I just don't want
Muchas
to.
gracias.
I don't know if you want me to say your full name, so I'm not going to.
Stop. Taco time.
Taco time.
Ah, ¿verdad? No
That's like
sería el
gonna
día.
cover just Tom's burrito.
Today's-
Tom goes to this Mexican restaurant. He always sends me photos of what he's eating.
Yeah, I found another one too.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
nice.
Yeah,
Oh damn, I'm hungry, man.
tell me about it.
Fucking Diego showed us what he was eating. This damn bread with cheese in the middle. No. Pablo.
Pablo.
Let me see, Pablo. Go ahead.
Oh,
Muestra.
He
estaba
ate it
com-
probably.
Ya me comí mi quesadilla, pero si han estado en el Ecuador, sabrán que las quesadillas son un postre de dulce. Es
Mm,
básicamente una masa de queso con una envoltura que también es masa de queso. Diablos, está lleno de queso, es delicioso. Vengan a Ecuador, coman quesadillas.
What's that? You ate it all?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was my breakfast.
You jerk. No, that's probably good because I don't want to see it again. They look really good, Tom.
All I've had today was a goddamn orange.
That's good.
Mm.
That's good.
Was it mechanical?
Y gente en el chat, if you want to support us, there's the link for our PayPal. Muchísimas gracias a toda la gente en el chat.
Ujú.
Pero, yeah, let's continue.
Sí, solo para dar un resumen de lo que dijimos, estamos en desacuerdo con Scotty por lo que ha dicho que los estudios no quieren Pablo, di la palabra.
Cannabizar, y créeme, los estudios quieren cannabizar, es todo lo
No.
que hace.
No, canibalismo. ¿Cómo se dice el verbo?
Canibalizar.
Eso.
Canibalizar.
Ya. Ok. No sé quién, eso entre ellos, y eso es mentira. Eso es lo que es el estado natural de todos los estudios. ¿Todos acaso hemos visto eso? ¿Cuántas veces hemos visto Disney tratar de fregar a la competencia más de una vez?
Se llama competencia de mercado, es lo que haces, por eso existen múltiples empresas. No importa que la mayoría de empresas le pertenezcan a Vanguard, a BlackRock o a Blackstone, aún así compiten entre ellas. Y de hecho, Vanguard y BlackRock le pertenecen a Blackstone, así que al diablo, todas son del mismo lugar.
So it looks like Scream and what's the new one? Uncharted. Those are like the first couple of hits of the year, right? After Spider-Man, of course.
Well, it's stuff people actually want to see.
Right, that they've gone to see. Correct, right.
Who wants to see Uncharted?
Evidently, some people do.
Tom Holland is, I told you the other day, Tom Holland is he's so big right now that
He's so dreamy. The girls love him.
well,
Oh,
you remember
come
when Titanic came out, Tom, and then like a few months later, Titanic was still fucking making money, but Man in the Iron Mask came out,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that had Leo in it, and just by default, it made a shitload of money.
Yep.
Even though it starred a bunch of old dudes. That's to me, that's like the same thing with Uncharted.
It helps.
Right. You know, because all the girls are still like all into Tom Holland and Zendaya.
It helps also where, the boyfriend wants to go see it because he plays video games.
Mm-hmm.
And then the girl's like, I don't want to see that, but Tom Holland's in it. Okay.
Right. So there's like that cool factor. Right. Okay.
I play video games. I play Uncharted. I hate what they did with the movie. Nathan Drake is a great character. They need to make it properly.
Pablo, let's be honest. This movie's not bad. It's just not. You have to be honest. It's not
the video
Uncharted.
game.
It's not Uncharted. It's just
Sí,
an
ni
adventure
siquiera he
movie.
leído a ver exactamente por eso, porque no es Uncharted. Y lo lamento. Incluso Uncharted 4 lo pasé 5 veces. Ok, es un juego que puedes pasar un montón de veces. Uncharted 2 tiene de los mejores puntos de comedia con Nathan Drake que te puedas imaginar. Por alguna razón decidieron quitar todo eso de la película, entonces ¿para qué voy a verla?
So the studios didn't want to cannibalize themselves. Why is he writing this article? It's dumb.
Was he dumb?
I was going to say before, this article feels like he had nothing else to write and he had to hit some kind of quota or whatever. And yeah.
Mexican Airman nos dice, did Pablo just call him reggaeton? Okay, Pablo is fired. Lol.
Mexican Iron Man has no hiring or firing power here.
You shall not
So
pass.
Pablo, you're safe.
I did give him a hose though.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. I stand corrected. Mexican Iron Glory, you're back in.
He's got a hose. That's all. Like, he can beat you with it, I suppose.
Okay.
We
All right.
are going to talk about Narcos later, so yeah, you can
Right.
beat someone with a hose.
Number
Yes.
4, Super Bowl.
Nobody
This
beat
is-
anybody with a hose in that.
No, but Narcos actually do.
Yeah, I'm
What the
sure.
hell? Okay.
This
All
is stupid. This is the stupidest one.
He's just throwing random shit. I love lamp. I love chair.
I love Scotty.
Scotch. I love scotch.
Okay.
Leer?
A ver, dice, the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl will air globally on February 13, 2022. While history has shown that the film slated for that weekend, Death on the Nile and Marry Me can do fine, it is a huge marketing opportunity for a slew of upcoming movies. Y después responde con, no, I don't know what films will get high-profile commercials during the big game, although Warner Bros. Hasn't plugged a big movie since Batman Begins in 2005. Scotty, we don't go to you for these things. We go for you because we
How
want
old is this
information.
article?
This is the second to last point. Then there's the well, actually no. This is
No,
this
no,
is the
no.
one before
How
last.
old?
It's
When
5
was
points.
this?
When was?
When was this released?
He wrote this before the Super Bowl.
So this is January 20. Oh, this shit's old, Diego.
Yeah.
Why are you giving
And-
us old shit?
Because when I try to look entertainment, this was at the top.
Oh God. All right.
So you notice what Forbes was doing.
You're gonna get fired also.
Forbes está cayendo de picada.
But still, it's more than anything. This is interesting. This is why more I brought it, even though also they put it on the top,
Alright.
and it was curious.
So anyway, he gripes about the Super Bowl.
Okay.
The last one is a funny one.
Well, before we go that, was there any big movies that
Yeah, we got a couple.
that released their trailers during Super Bowl, Tom?
Doctor Strange did.
Oh, that went well.
Actually, that was a
Yeah.
pretty good trailer.
I
'Cause
know,
that
just the Xochitl
garbage. Shit, I'm trying to think. What else was there?
Well, that's what I'm
Help me
asking
out,
you.
chat. I don't
Pablo?
remember.
Diego?
Salió Jackass.
I didn't see the Super Bowl. I'll be
No,
honest.
no, like any news. I mean, there was, of course, Lord of the Rings. I don't even want to.
Yeah,
call it
that
Lord
was
of
like
Rings.
the Lord of the Rings and
Power, the Rings of
Oh,
Power.
en el Super Bowl, the
In el Super Bowl.
Rings of Power, que fue un insulto total.
Rings
Doctor
of Power,
Strange 2 are the only two I remember.
Doctor Strange 2.
También no fue tan buen tráiler.
I think what a lot of them did was that they released them on YouTube and then maybe just did like little, because they didn't want to pay for all that.
The little trailer for the trailer, yeah.
Right. They wouldn't pay for they pay me like 15 seconds.
Go online now to see the trailer.
To see the full trailer of Hedgehog.
But also because the Super Bowl now charges like
I'm trying to
exorbitant
think of any
amounts.
new. Like they were supposed to drop Obi-Wan, but that doesn't look good. Because they didn't. Okay, streaming factor. There, go ahead.
This is the one that really caught my eye.
Uh-huh.
Because it's like it says streaming factor. Yes, the industry is dealing with Wall Street's current preferences for streaming, as well as the after effects of studios selling some potentially commercial flicks to streaming platforms as a way to get quick cash to weather the storm. I'd imagine Sony's Hotel Transformania, a lack of Adam Sandler notwithstanding, would have given the box office a mild jolt. The previous 3 installments have grossed $1.3 billion worldwide, had it opened theatrically instead of debuting this past month on Amazon Prime.
I don't know. The fact that Adam Sandler isn't in it is a selling point to me.
To most.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Is
I mean,
that
I liked him
Miles
in the
or
first
that
one, but-
asshole barking?
No, he's not my dog.
No, those are my dogs, and I don't know why they're barking. Either the ghost is back or some shit happened.
Hmm.
The ghost?
And if
That's
you're
more
talking about my
interesting than
asshole, my asshole's a cat.
Oh God! Again, what's your dog's name?
Sadie.
Sadie's my dog's name.
Sorry. I thought it was assholes.
Asshole's the cat because he's
Asshole's
an
the
asshole.
cat because he's an asshole.
All right, got it.
No, but this one is also one that brought me to attention because of what it's saying, that basically streaming killed theaters.
Sure,
Spider-Man says, "Here, hold my bear."
and not the coof.
No,
That's exactly my issue with the whole article. Is 5 reasons why Hollywood is suffering from a box office slump. And Spider-Man No Way Home showed that there's no slump. It's not something that people are not going to cinemas because they don't want to or something like that. It's because there's nothing to watch. There's
It
nothing
also didn't
interesting.
help that you scared a bunch of people back in October, November, and shit like that with some,
Yeah.
new variant. So there was a lot of people that were scared off. And I know I have a feeling now after seeing how well Ghostbusters is doing on video that was why it didn't do so well in theaters and why it had this consistent stay and it continued to play throughout even until it hit video, because I think people got scared at that point because the media was playing it up like it was going to be this big thing. So by the time Spider-Man came out, people were like, oh, it's not. Right. So I think that helped. Otherwise, I think Ghostbusters would have made another 50 to 100 million.
Oh, that movie. How much? How well is doing on Blu-rays? Does
Oh,
anyone
very
know?
well. It's been the number one. It was number one for the streaming or the download for the first month it was on because you could only get it for digital.
Yep.
And then I haven't seen the video sales yet, but the box set sold out.
yep.
Yeah, instantly.
So
You can
yeah,
buy it again, but it's now going for $260
that's what
minimum.
I'm saying. So like just that alone tells me that it's doing well. So because the video sales don't come out for like a month or two, it takes a little bit.
Yeah, but
But streaming wise or whatever, it's been number one on Vudu and iTunes and all that shit. So
I mean, like, I got the.
I'm sure that's selling well too. I haven't checked on it, but again, those sales don't come in for a couple months usually at the most. So
Yeah, but I mean, the fact is, I got like one of the last ones Amazon had before they restocked it. And it's like, because I bought it, and then
well,
next
that's a
thing
good
I know,
sign. Then there you go.
yeah, it was like, yes.
That's what I'm saying. It's doing very well on video. So that just tells me people were afraid to go to the theater and or there was confusion involved. Because I know some people who have said that they didn't realize it was a new film. They thought it was a sequel to the last one.
Oh, 2016.
And that's where I said they didn't do a very good job with the marketing of the movie. No. And they had 2 years to do it, but
Yeah, but they're not that.
it is what it is. Hopefully we'll get more out of it. But no, the streaming factor is a problem, but it's only a problem for somebody like Warner Brothers, right? Like where they have completely demolished their last year's box office by putting everything day and date. Because Lord knows Dune would have made more money. Godzilla and Kong probably would have been $1 billion film.
Yep.
Matrix,
Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, Mortal Kombat would have done well. I guarantee you Mortal Kombat would have made like $500 million. And for how much that movie cost, that would have been a lot of money in their pockets. Because the movie didn't even cost like what, 50 to $80 million, I heard. So that was a cheap movie. Like almost Joker level had it actually been able to thrive at the box office. But again, you have this problem where they decided to do this day and date thing for better or worse. For better, it built HBO Max and made them a huge platform now compared to Disney. I mean, they're on the same level, but at the same time, Disney's got to be kicking themselves because HBO Max did this at twice the price and 3 times the price in some cases. So they managed to pull it off because Disney didn't have anything but The Mandalorian to pull people in. But on the other side of this now, HBO and ain't going to have those movies going forward. They got to rely on what new programming they got coming up. So,
I mean, I think Disney now has something with Encanto because of a whole, the cultural phenomenon that movie and the songs are have like in culture in general. But even then, as you say, it's like,
yeah, but
HBO
how long
Max
does that last, right? Yeah,
until the next flop.
exactly.
Yeah, they have announced that they want to do an Encantoverse, and that's real. So yeah, they are going for Encanto with a lot of strength, but also there's a lot of issues there because Latin American people are against what they are doing with the Encanto. Basically, Latin America wants Encanto to be theirs and not to be Disney's. So they have friction there. So if they try to make it really big, they will face a lot of problems.
Well, that's just it, though. Encanto didn't do nothing at the box office, so it may be doing okay for them on streaming, but Disney has had a shit year. Like,
Oh, yeah.
they did not have one film that really was a standout hit, and they can only claim so much of Spider-Man, right? So,
25%?
yeah, that movie probably bailed their ass out in a lot of ways, because it probably even the percentage that they got from Sony was probably more than fucking
Yeah.
Eternals or Shang-Chi made. I mean, Shang-Chi did okay, but Eternals was a big slap in the face to them, because I think it cost a little bit more than Shang-Chi as well. But I mean, the streaming thing, yes, it's a factor, but now movies are going to be going back to theaters again. The studios realize they can't afford to dump everything on streaming and expect it to make money. They killed so many avenues of their revenue doing that I think all of them woke up pretty quick to that. And I warned everybody. Everybody's like, "Oh no, it's going to kill." No, like they if they go straight to streaming, they're destroying the video market and the theatrical market, and those two markets are their main revenue streams for making money back on movies. Sure, they make the big paydays here and there with the streaming stuff, but when you're not selling it to Netflix and you're throwing it on your own streaming service, then it's a fucking loss leader. And they're learning that now. See, and that's the thing. When they got into this game, they saw Netflix making all this money, not realizing that all that money that Netflix was making was going right back into the studio's pockets.
Mhm.
And that's
Maybe
yeah, go ahead.
maybe that's exactly the reason why they should have stayed with Netflix, because the investment on technologies just to stream, to make the connection stable, to acquire the metadata because you want to do all data mining from your customers' behavior and everything, was all from Netflix. Netflix was doing all the bulk of the investment, while the other studios were just lending a few of their properties, and they had all the money from that.
Mhm.
So going away from Netflix is maybe the biggest mistake that they have ever done.
Oh yeah.
Mhm. Okay.
Or at least
Un
going all
peque-
in on streaming, yes, but you're gonna have to try and translate all of what I just said. Sorry.
No worries, I can do it. Ok. Bueno, damas y caballeros, justo hemos tenido una conversación muy interesante de este factor último que mencionó Scotty, que es de el hecho de que streaming ha matado a los cines, ¿ya? Y lo que estamos acá discutiendo es el hecho de que efectivamente no es así, porque los estudios ahorita están comenzando a cambiar su táctica a ir de vuelta a los cines. Y lo que estamos diciendo, ¿por qué? Porque a pesar de que sí, hay películas como Ghostbusters que no tuvieron el performance debido a una mezcla de factores, pero también hay otras películas como Godzilla vs. King Kong, Mortal Kombat y Dune que salieron al mismo tiempo en cine y en su plataforma de streaming de HBO Max, ¿no? Están ahorita viendo que el problema real de que pensaron que porque estaba en Netflix y hacía un montón de plata, ellos podían poner sus películas en su plataforma y hacer un montón de plata, sin considerar el hecho de que su mercado real, o sea, digamos, de donde viene la gran mayoría de los ingresos para las películas, es por medio de los cines y la venta de videos, o sea, Blu-rays y también la venta digital. Al no entender esto, ahorita las películas que están metiendo directamente son lo que llamamos loss leaders. Básicamente están en pérdida completa con respecto a cuánto costó hacer la película y cuánto han generado solamente en cine, o si ni siquiera cine, solamente en la plataforma, lo cual están aprendiendo la realidad de que no es tan fácil como pensaron que sería, y por eso están teniendo que cambiar rápidamente a, no, regresamos a cines, regresamos
Y
a medios físicos.
también ahí entra el argumento que yo estaba dando, que se pusieron la soga al cuello en el momento en el que quisieron poner todos sus servicios de streaming. ¿Por qué? Porque Netflix estaba haciendo la mayoría de inversión en todo lo que es desarrollo. Entonces, si es que quieres mejor estabilidad, si es que quieres poder pasar mayor ancho de banda, si es que quieres que toda la data de cómo utilizan tus usuarios sea minada para poder hacer modelos y poder vender mejor, todo eso lo estaba haciendo Netflix y lo estaba haciendo sin cobrarle un centavo a todos los estudios que tenían sus películas ahí. ¿Por qué? Porque era un punto de aglomeración. Si es que todos los estudios tienen sus películas en Netflix, todo el mundo tiene Netflix, Netflix genera una cantidad gigantesca de dinero y con eso puede invertir en el proceso. Además, no tiene que invertir en hacer sus propias producciones, así que hay una fuente para poder mantener la investigación y al mismo tiempo poder sostener el modelo de negocios. Si en cambio cada uno se reparte el tener que hacer la parte tecnológica, cada uno tiene que además mantener los servidores, tiene que bajar sus huellas de carbono porque lastimosamente todos están sujetos a ESG, así que también tienen que usar tecnologías verdes. Todo eso ahora tiene que hacerlo cada uno de los estudios. Por ejemplo, lo que está haciendo Netflix, también lo tiene que hacer Disney Plus, también lo tiene que hacer HBO Max, y son competencias, y que no van a intercambiar código. Entonces, la cantidad de plata que están perdiendo por invertir en algo que Netflix podía hacerles de gratis, nunca la van a recuperar.
Y también el hecho que ahora toda esta pelea por el streaming nos va a volver a la era cuando todos teníamos televisión por cable y pagamos por paquetes.
Elon Musk el día de ayer sacó un meme que es el clásico del sujeto regresando a ver otra mujer, ¿ok? Pero es primero los piratas regresando a ver a Netflix, y ahora que hay todos los servicios de streaming, el sujeto con los servicios de streaming regresando a ver a la Bahía Pirata, porque es verdad, ese ciclo está regresando. Nos alejamos de la piratería porque había una fuente barata para ver todo el contenido que queríamos. En este momento es tan dislocado donde podemos acceder al contenido que si queremos tenerlo todo, no hay otra manera sino ir a la bahía.
Pero como siempre, en Midnight es en español, ¡no! Fomentamos que vayan ahí. Recuerden
No
eso.
la fomentamos, pero hacemos el análisis exacto y lastimosamente la competencia principal de Netflix, de Disney Plus, de HBO Max, etcétera, etcétera, es la bahía. Es su
Ujú,
competidor directo.
sí. Pero bueno, creo que ya hemos tocado y podemos ir lo importante. Narcos.
Cocaine.
Cocaine.
Frank Marshall. Where's Frank Marshall?
Yes, please, por favor.
Oh. What's going on? Sorry about that.
Frank Marshall has received so much from Colombia that he should know
Pesos.
Spanish right now.
How many pesos?
So
3,000.
Tom just discovered Narcos season 1, original from 2015.
I wouldn't say I discovered it per se. It was more like you had
Well, you
recommended
finally
it
saw it.
2 years ago, and then something caught my attention about the show. It was like I was watching something on, because like usually when I'm editing, I'll just play random stuff in the background of channels I like and whatnot. And something come up about Pablo Escobar or something that connected to Pablo Escobar, and they brought up something about Narcos. I'm like, oh yeah, Paulie told me to check that show out. And they showed a scene or whatever that got me interested. So I was like, all right, fuck it. So I went and checked it out. Next thing I know, I'm sucked into it for the last few days. So every waking moment I had that I wasn't working, I've been watching Narcos, and I actually just finished watching it before I came on. And yeah, it's just a hell of a show. Of course, the third season, not nearly as good as the first two, but you almost kind of need it. It's kind of nice to have it as just kind of a nice wrap up to everything, and to kind of set things in motion for Narcos Mexico and stuff like that. But which I'm looking forward to quite a bit, because Paulie's already said some great things about that. But no, I finally got a chance to check it all out, and there's a lot of great things in it, I can say, and I'd love to hear what you guys think about it too.
Well, first, what did you think of this gentleman's portrayal as Pablo?
Intense as fuck. Like compared to the real Pablo, I feel like a lot of these guys are probably like, because from what I know of interviews and stuff people have talked about him, it always feels like these kind of guys, when they do these, they always try to play him up as a little bit more of a dangerous guy, or like, that whole like presence of ominous. And he did have that to a point, but from every account from all of the people around him, he was never one that was a quick-tempered guy. He never yelled. He was quick to make friends before he would get into arguments, and that's how he got as popular as he did, right? Like
Mhm.
he would be more apt to be like, look, let's ignore this thing over here. What can I do to help you? Right. And while he's over here helping this person, they're off doing their thing, right? He wasn't dumb. Like, of all the guys that ever did this game, and they showed that very well in Narcos, he was probably the smartest, in the sense that he realized, between him and the other Don that's in season 3 that helps out, those two guys are probably the smartest guys that ever ran this thing, because they know that they can get a hell of a lot more done without using, violence and bloodshed than going to war, right? And that's what the other guys were, their downfalls. And again, that's a whole nother situation. But this guy's performance here is still what carried the show, as far as I was concerned. It was the biggest absence of season 3, right? And he looks great. He does a great job internalizing the character quite a bit. And I'm sure he takes a lot of liberties, like I said, with, some of the anger and outbursts and stuff like that. But there really isn't that much here in comparison to what you would expect, right? Like, this is probably one of the more serious scenes with him, because outside of the scenes where he's trying to escape or he's dealing with somebody head on, then yeah.
And this is the very first scene, like in the series.
Yeah, I know. Like, this is one of the more intense
Yeah.
bits with him, because other than that, you do see why these people do like him, right? Like, there was a reason why he was called the Robin Hood of, Colombia, outside of just being, that persona that he tried to portray. He really did do a lot of this stuff, right? Like, I mean, he put so much of that money back into the community, and, it did show in the fact that people did give a shit.
Because he was a politician. He wanted to be a natural politician. And if you see him on interviews and such, he is never angry, and he is never vicious. He's more like a mix between stoic and comedic.
Yeah, he's he seems like a big kid most of the time, is the way
Yeah.
he usually sounded like. And again, I'm not trying to paint this guy as any great good guy. He is a fucking monster, right? Like, the shit that he did, the shit that he pulled off, the shit that ended up happening near the end, all that stuff was his undoing, and for good reason.
Yeah,
Right?
but he was a charismatic monster.
Absolutely. Well, there was a point where, like, and the show does a really good job of showing where that line gets crossed, right? Like, the plane was probably the point where, this got serious here. Like, you've done more than just kill some other bad guys, or, a couple politicians and shit like that. You've actually gone to the point where you killed innocent people for your own bullshit at this
Yep.
point.
And a lot of that shit came to Ecuador too, because we are just in the frontier. So a lot of the things that they were doing will clash with the Ecuadorian army. And that guy took care of a lot of people from my country too.
That's what I mean. Like, I mean, it was one thing when he was actually taking care of people and putting back into the community, and, as far as, like, yeah, he was doing illegal things, but he was also doing better for the people than the government was at that time. And that's where you were right. He was playing better politician than most of the politicians were, because he had all the politicians in his pocket anyway.
Yep.
I'm gonna give us a quick summary for people just in case before we go on. Ok, primero, Tom ha dicho el hecho de que como le gustó la serie, ¿no? Y especialmente algo que él había escuchado, pero no había tomado el tiempo de verdad de ver la serie, y ahora que lo vio de verdad le gustó. Y no solo eso, sino él comenta como el portrayal de Pablo Escobar en la serie, y un poco diciendo las diferencias que hay del hecho de que no es tan intenso como lo muestra en la serie, pero sí es verdad el hecho de que era una persona muy carismática, pero al mismo tiempo tenía la capacidad de ser muy, muy, muy maliciosa. Pero al mismo tiempo reconociendo, el hombre hizo un montón de bien para su comunidad, y él no está justificándolo, pero él reconoce el hecho de que el hombre sabía cómo manejar las cosas, sabía que se gana más, ¿no? Dando el cubo de azúcar que con el fuete. Entonces es como que eso es parte del encanto de todo el personaje y la serie, como lo han hecho. Y por eso le ha pegado un montón la actuación. Y eso que dice que esta escena que pusieron, que es al principio de la primera temporada, es como que una de las escenas más intensas que tienes con él. Después de eso es más una persona más relajada y más acorde a lo que era Pablo Escobar. Recordemos la escena del columpio.
Ujú. Pero, Diego, tú también eres de una zona fronteriza con Colombia, o al menos de un país que tiene frontera con Colombia. Creo que
Ajá.
Ecuador tiene mucha más relación primero por la cantidad de migrantes que tenemos por la guerra. La guerra contra las drogas desplazó una cantidad gigantesca de gente, incluyendo la familia de mi padre. Así que también tengo algo de colombiano por ahí. Y no sé si recuerdas cuando salía Pablo Escobar en las noticias o si es que recuerdas cuando salían los atentados en las noticias.
Así es que también mucho de la época de Pablo Escobar, yo sé, en esto, yo estaba viviendo en Brasil.
Ok, yo acá por el 92, 93, claro, era un niño, pero en esa época todo lo que hablaban en las noticias era la guerra en contra de las drogas. Para empezar, que teníamos la base de Manta, que era una base de los Estados Unidos puesta para poder pelear contra Pablo Escobar. No es broma. La razón principal por la que establecieron esa base es para pelear en contra de los narcotraficantes.
Yo quiero hablar un poco de los actores de
Ujú.
este serie. Este actor no es colombiano, es brasileño.
Sí.
No sonaba su español bien.
Oh, yeah, he was great. So, Tom, this actor's Brazilian,
Okay.
which in itself is like, okay, so what? This doesn't happen often when especially like a big role like this is played by a Brazilian or someone from Portugal. But it can be done, and Wagner was incredible. And Romy reminds me all the time because they're friends.
no
That
shit.
we're Latino too. You see, Wagner.
That's cool.
Yeah.
No, and he did a great job. Like I said, he's like one of the standout performances, and that's saying a lot considering, you got Pedro Pascal and all these other guys in there. And I mean, really the show is from the point of view, obviously, of the police officers more so. And it's because of the real life counterparts that
Sorry.
this is now a meme, I know.
This is like we were trying to get this as a meme for you.
Oh, it's a meme now. It's
No, but
already
for
a
our
meme.
thumbnail.
Oh, for the
there
thumbnail.
there was different versions of the thumbnail. I wanted a side photo of you to get you on the swing.
Oh, you should have asked. I'd have sent you one.
Yeah, he's sitting on the swing with that sad face. I wanted to do that, but we had the cocaine room, so yeah.
And we
That's the
put Frank
thing.
Marshall.
Oh
Yeah.
God, that's the thing is like, oh, that's who's okay. Yeah, like my
Let me
whole
show you the full
yeah,
resolution.
like I mean, I knew the meme and stuff like that, but like, yeah,
Yeah,
Hey,
if
Frank.
you haven't seen the, I will share my screen. If you haven't seen the thumbnail,
yeah, I saw the thumbnail. Yeah,
cocaine.
for some reason when that was small because it's the first time seeing it large, I thought that was Biden behind me.
That would be even better.
No.
Now it makes more sense.
We had to.
Amy
we had
Pascal
to go.
was another option.
Yes.
Oh no, Frank makes more sense.
Frank makes more sense. The jokes.
He's like party time. Oh shit! But yeah, these two guys, their real life counterparts, are one of the reasons this is probably one of the best I've seen so far. As far as, I mean, I haven't seen a lot of dramatic reenactments of the things that went down, but clearly it's because of these guys that they got a lot of the stuff here that I've never heard before or knew about, and some of it I checked afterwards to see how much of it was actually accurate, and I'd say a good 75% of what's in this show was pretty accurate. Time-wise, they fudged some things and a few other things, but yeah.
Todo mundo en Ecuador se vestía exactamente como Pablo está vestido en esa foto. Las camisas polo las odiaba, hermano. Todo mundo las usaba y todo mundo las usaba justamente por los narcos.
You have a shirt like this, Pablo?
I had it. I'm an early 90s, late 80s kid, so I had to use polo shirts. I had to use that kind of jeans. Luckily, I didn't have a mullet because a lot of people had. The aesthetic of that time is. We were not wise on aesthetics. Let's just say that. But yeah, everybody on my country was using polo shirts and those jeans because of the drug cartel.
I'm just trying to imagine Pablo with a mullet now.
They tried to get me one.
So this actor is the main narrator for the first 3 seasons.
Boy, yeah, and I missed him in the third season as well.
2
yeah.
seasons. Yeah. And then Pedro's character really took over season 2 and 3, right?
More so season 3.
Okay. Yeah, you just seen it. I haven't seen this initial
Yeah,
run.
season 2 ends with the death of Pablo. And then you see that
Wait a minute, Pablo Escobar dies?
Yeah.
Spoilers.
Jerk.
I know.
Was kind of a big thing. Half of Colombia was just mourning him.
Luis Guzman, I forgot he was like
Oh god, he's in it quite a bit in the first 2 seasons, yeah.
and in Narcos Mexico, the latest season, Wagner directs. I think he directed 2 episodes, which were my
really?
favorite. Yeah, one he directed was just bananas.
Him and that fucking missile launcher.
I now want a movie with him, just him.
Yeah, he was a good character. I mean, even though he's a real person, but I mean, that was the other thing that helped it too, was having like the real footage to go along with it, and it was a unique way of putting this show together. Because from what I know, I did do a little research. It was going to be a movie first, and they realized they had way too much to put into one movie, so they decided to make it a series. So. And then it was meant to just be like a mini series, I think, at first, but then it was such a big hit that they just kept going. So, yeah.
That's a proper strategy. If you're making money, keep doing it.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get into that in a second. But you know, the storytelling is just brilliant, and the acting and that's Ana de la Guerra, no?
Creo que sí.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. She was in this. Forget all the actresses that were in it as well. And she stars in The Forever Purge. She was pretty good.
Yep.
If you haven't seen that movie, si no han visto Forever Porch, véanla. Es entretenida. Es estúpidamente entretenida. Y es más pensativa de lo que se imaginarían. Extraña película.
I'll tell you, though, technical-wise, this show is shot very well, very cinematic, and the sound design is very, very good.
Oh, sí. Incluso la manera en la que filman los tonos me recuerdan mucho a cómo eran las cámaras de la época. The sepia tones and everything they have on the grain of the film reminds me of those eras cameras. You know,
Yeah.
I love that.
I mean, you can tell it's shot
insane.
digitally, but they try to make it look like film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. That is a
And I
really
think
nice touch.
period-wise, they did a pretty good job. I didn't really see, and I'm somebody who hates anachronisms, so like, I didn't notice too much. Like, they did a pretty good job from what I could tell, technical-wise. Maybe some of the cell phones might have been a little too new for the age near the end there, but outside of that, I think they did a pretty good job. Even with like the tape recorders and all that stuff, it was pretty time appropriate. So kudos to him on that for the attention to detail there.
Yeah.
Now, Edward James Olmos comes in, I think, in 1 episode or 2 episodes.
Two and first and last episode of season 3, I think it is. because he plays Pedro Pascal's dad.
Right. That was a cool. I love that.
Yeah, it was a nice little surprise to start the third season off with. Yeah.
My question is, did he spank Pedro Pascal?
No, Pablo, no.
It was needed.
Well, that's the next question I was going to ask Tom, and is that because of all the the fandom strife with Pedro, were you able to like separate and enjoy his performance? What did you think of that?
Yeah, I'm unlike some people who have a little harder time with that. It's a little easier for me because I don't know if it's just something that I've always been able to kind of do. Just know that like sometimes that kind of shit happens, and sometimes people say shit you don't necessarily agree with, and that's not going to stop me from watching their movies or listening to their music. I mean, unless they do something really devious, then like usually that's the line that really draws me. Very rarely do I like have somebody who really pushes me to the point where I can't stand watching them because they're playing a character, right? And the character he plays here is great. And I've seen a couple interviews with the real guy, so I mean, he's got that thing, for a leading man, right? I mean, he does it well. Does he? I mean, he carries that whole third season pretty much by himself, besides those other couple guys. But those guys don't nearly get as much screen time as his partner does in first two seasons, who's actually narrating the series.
Yeah. Diego, thoughts?
Pascal, I really tried not to pay attention too much, like, just enjoyed the series as a whole. And especially Wagner was the one who kept me like stuck in the series more than anything. When I saw him, it's like, okay, I'm back in it. But after that, Pascal I didn't feel like he, until the third season, as Tom says, when he took the narration, it was like, since he wasn't like up, like in the front, it was like it didn't really come into play until the very end.
What's a great role?
Well, he's a good actor, right? Like that's the thing. You can dislike certain people as much as you want, but if they're a good actor, you can't deny it.
Yeah.
And it's
That's a great role.
But you know what I'd love to see is somebody take like a bunch of Pedro's like, "You go fuck yourself" and all that kind of shits and put it in the Mandalorian. Cut in different shots of like people talking to him, and all of a sudden he just cut in the dialogue from this show. Make it sound like it's coming from his Mandalorian. That'd be hilarious.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Pablo was now thinking about it.
The Narcolorian.
The Narcolorian.
Tengo que hacerlo.
Ay, Dios mío.
Because there's so many great lines where he says shit like we're fucked, or I'm gonna kick your ass, or they're gonna kill you, like all kinds of just random shit or whatever.
Con Pedro Pascal solo puedo pensar en óyeme Pascal, amárrame la vaca.
I mean, this show doesn't necessarily paint either side of the politics in any good light, really. That's the other beauty of it, right? It does help that a lot of this show was made before the woke took over, I'm sure. But I mean, you can kind of tell in the third season there was a little bit of how do I put this? It's not as risque, and how it treats certain characters changes a little bit, I guess, but not like overly.
Well, so it's interesting because both three seasons kind of suffer the same fate. They're the season 3 without having that that antagonist, and I'm gonna spoil it for you a little bit, Tom, but Narcos Mexico the first 2 seasons are probably better than what you just saw. Because of not one but 2 antagonists and then a protagonist that's so principled in his quest to get these guys. It's that storyline ends at the end of season 2, Narcos Mexico. That 3, even though it's the last season that just came out and it's the final one, it's good, but it doesn't compare to the first 2 seasons of Narcos Mexico. But I can assure you, what Narcos Mexico does not do, it doesn't let up. It doesn't. If you thought 3 was kind of easy, Tom, buckle up.
Well, 3 just more like, I mean, actually I ended up liking the season more than I thought I would, but I just kept feeling like, and it does kind of feel like just a capper to everything more so than anything. I mean, yeah, you got the little bit of the pursuit of the brothers and, all that kind of stuff, which does help. And there's some really great characters left, which also helps. But I'm not sure about how I'm gonna feel about Narcos Mexico. I like the trailer so far, but I'm interested just because of some of the things you said. But the first 2 seasons of this series though are gonna be tough to beat. I'll tell you that much.
Oh man, maybe we should watch them together or something. When are you going to start watching Narcos Mexico?
Hopefully when I get some time here. I've got like a 20-minute video to edit. I've got shows stacked up on top of each other today. In fact, we're going from here to a member stream in like 10, 15 minutes. And then, so I haven't even really ate anything but an orange today. So
Right.
and then I got mead this afternoon and all kinds of other stuff. So it's going to be a day.
And Sandra, may I suggest then just jumping to Narcos Mexico, which has Diego Luna, Tenoch Huerta, and what's his name? Michael Pena, who plays Kiki Castillo. Oh my God. Fucking brilliant, guys. Narcos Mexico. And what I'm thinking is, someone had said it earlier in a chat, Junior Lopez. Narcos Mexico season 3, the last season, there's still so much like El Mencho. I'm thinking that people are very surprised, Tom, that Narcos, that they ended it, that they called it, that they called it quits. Because it's like that's still the height of the popularity, Narcos Mexico, the whole universe. They're probably getting too close to Junior and to everyone in the chat. They're probably getting too close to characters that still run shit right now.
Yeah, especially politicians.
Yeah, because they got really close with with a couple of people that have either recently passed away or but that's it. Like once you start going timeline wise, Tom, we're talking about people that are still alive and still
yeah,
dude.
Well, because the end of this show is definitely late 90s, I think. They don't do as good a job telling you where you're at time wise in the 3rd season as they did in the first 2.
Yeah,
but clearly less time jumps through the 3rd season than you do in the first 2.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the sad part, is I almost feel like I wish there was a show. I mean, you kind of talked a little bit about this, but like, it'd be nice to see how Pablo came to power to begin with. Right. Like, I mean, because the show does give you a little bit of his background, but it just kind of kicks in when he's, like you said, like he's already doing his thing, and they don't really give you a whole lot of background before that. And he had done a lot of shit before that. So it'd been interesting just to have like a prequel series for that part of it. But I can't wait to see it, Mike. So I'm going to start checking it out as soon as I get a chance here.
Yeah. Thank you, Mexican Iron Man, for $4.99. Narcos Mexico is an A+. Yeah, and what's interesting, and then we'll let the boys kind of sum up in Spanish for everyone, is that the latest season touches real devastating issues in regards to women in Mexico. I think that's probably the best way you can handle something without being woke.
Yeah, you got to. Well, if you're getting on the trafficking part, because they've avoided that altogether.
Trafficking and
human side of it, anyway,
and the dark side of what they do with these women after the fact.
Yeah, that's kind of the real issue that we face around these parts, because That happens a lot. From the way they get the women to where they end up, that happens a lot here. So
It's so, Narcos Mexico, it's different because you don't have the antagonist of Felix Gallardo, El Padrino, and Kiki Castillo's, but what it touches on is just equally devastating in a different light. Is so good, man. And I'm really, really happy you checked out Narcos, Tom, because for me, this is probably one of the best television series, period. And like currently going, well, I guess it just ended, but just as far as television, it's superior, man.
Oh yeah, it reminded me of classic HBO, like like Deadwood level, I would say.
Yeah, man. Diego.
I mean, I agree with Tom. It does remind me like more of a classic HBO things, but at the same time, because unfortunately I've actually already seen Narcos Mexico, and when I think about it, it's like, yeah, but Narcos Mexico is like, ugh. I think the best way I can explain it is, for me, Narcos, like the Pablo Escobar saga, let's call it, is a solid 7, but Narcos Mexico for me is a solid 9.
You guys are building this up big time, and I was expecting it to not be as good. See, like,
Well, take a few days before
Yeah,
we
yeah.
start.
Exactly. Just don't.
I mean, it's season 1 in particular. There's even an episode called El Padrino. It's the closest thing I've seen to Godfather level, bro. It's because this whole thing's a true story of how Diego's character consolidated Mexico, and he basically made it he became head of the cartels to organize them. It's fucking scary good. So yeah, give it a few days.
Yeah, just like don't watch it now. Really, just have some time, like think it through with Narcos, and then see this one, because like when I saw Narcos was when we started with Polly in May, and he commented about it, and I must have seen Narcos Mexico in August, and I think that's one of the reason why it has had such an impact, because I had like enough time to digest both of them. Because they are really different. Like even though it's of a similar tone, they are very different in character. The both series.
Los narcos de mi país ya no son como eran. Ahora se dedican al diseño gráfico y a buena producción audiovisual para promover su...
De nuevo, Pablo, tienes que hacer un video de contar tu historia y cuentas sobre ya sabes quién.
Solamente diré, conozco a alguien que se dedica a la venta de esos productos, hace propagandas, te comunica las promociones de la semana. Hay personas que trabajan en ese mundo que deberían estar trabajando en compañías grandes, deberían estar trabajando en Disney. Lo harían mejor que muchos de los que están ahí.
Dios mío. Lo peor es que estoy de acuerdo.
Por cierto, Dark Pleito, es exactamente la sensación que me da Narcos. La primera temporada es bastante similar a la sensación de Deadwood.
Y de Junior López dice, I think Narcos Mexico is better than the OG Narcos. But I said the same thing.
Now Tom's not gonna like it.
Everybody keeps saying it's better. I'm gonna have to see.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed Narcos, bro. But to me, it's
Oh, it's solid. Like I said, even the third season surprised me quite a bit. And it really helped because they had because I really didn't like the security guy, Jorge. Like I didn't really care for his character at first. Like I wanted him to get busted in that office. And then as the character got along and I seen that he was switching sides, like that's where I kind of started to like him, right? Because I was even just starting to think, it'd be nice if the guys had on the other side a guy like this. you know, and I was like working out a story, like the story in my own head, even though I didn't know too much about this period, because the stuff I knew was just mainly about Pablo, right? Like, so other than that, I just know most of these guys went to prison. Most of them didn't get killed or whatever. Only some of them did, and most of them ended up in jail. So like that, I was like, how's that going to be fucking exciting? But they managed to make it very intense and exciting. And I'm surprised at how much they weaved in the politics still, and considering how close to time we're getting now, like you guys were saying, like I'm assuming Mexico will be, but like I was just very surprised at how much it impressed me all the way through all 30 episodes. So very well done show.
Well, Tom, thanks for being here, brother.
Thank you very much for
No
being here.
problem.
I mean, being able to talk with you about Narcos finally is like, I'm giddy. I'll be honest, I'm giddy.
Oh, there's a lot more I'd love to talk about it too, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, let's chat. Maybe we can do like some Narcos Mexico videos here for the channel. Like, well, we'll talk.
Sounds
Okay,
good.
that way we can, really dig deep.
All right.
Diego.
Bueno, como siempre, soy Diego Midnight en español. No se olviden de los streams que tenemos los martes y nuestros videos que salen los domingos o los lunes y los jueves. Y por favor, digan en los comentarios qué piensan. A veces vamos a preguntarles qué les piensan de un nuevo formato de video que estamos haciendo. Díganos ahí qué piensan de ello para ver si lo seguimos o si experimentamos un poco más. Y en futuro vamos a también comenzar a indagar a otros temas un poco más como el anime que todo Latinoamérica consume por lo general. Entonces díganos en las sugerencias en el próximo video qué tipo de anime quiere que hablemos sobre. Y nos vemos hasta la próxima.
No Boku no Pico. Solamente
Boku
lo
no
dejo
Pico.
por sentado. No Boku no Pico, por favor.
Sí, no.
Muchísimas gracias por vernos. Próximamente está mi último review de Bobalorian. Y si es que vieron el anterior que hice, sabrán, no soy fan de la serie. No soy fan de Disney. No soy fan en general de lo que están haciendo. Así que va a ser interesante. Y bueno, veamos qué sorpresas vienen. Voy a estar viendo bastante anime para estar al día y veamos de qué hablar.
Tom just left. Tom
Nos
left us.
ninguneó.
Bye, Tom. What the hell happened? I
Castíguenlo,
wanted him to say
castíguenlo.
something. Okay, muchísimas gracias a toda la gente en el chat, los super chats, Mexican Iron Man, Andre, Tom, y toda la gente. Gracias, Diego y Pablo. I'm going to release a video in a few minutes on Latino Slant on Data Crew. It's a group of artists. They do pins, posters, and t-shirts. I mean, the stuff they do is amazing. So that is coming up. So check that out. We'll have some videos up here, all that good stuff. Muchísimas gracias. Buen día.